Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, Doc and Prof, we talk about the Anthony Davis rumor mills because he wants to get out of the Big Easy right here on Debate Amongst Friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Doc Ocean switching it up on you, and I am here with the data analyzing ninja, the conqueror of his own fate, the Professor John Gotti. We are here to talk about the browse that's gone wild. How are you doing today, sir?
I can't believe you said brow gone wild. I'm so disappointed in you, sir.
Well, you know,
you could come up with something way better than that. I can't believe this is the beginning of the week. Doc and Prof, we're recording this live right now on Monday.
Yes.
And you're gonna do brow gone wild?
You know, you know what happened? I watched Just Go With It, Adam Sandler's Just Go With It, and, you know, every time I watch it, that is one of the funniest jokes of it. You know, the lady's brow is, like, literally gone wild.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely worth it. But all movies aside, we're here to talk about the brow, Anthony Davis. He has announced today that he will not be rejoining the Pelicans. What the heck?
I'm just trying to understand, like, and I posted early this morning on Debate Amongst Friends, Facebook and Twitter accounts, you know, at Debate Amongst Friends, and I stated that it was never a matter of if, only when.
Agreed.
Because the New Orleans Pelicans are not, they don't have the type of lineup right now, as we're talking right now, January 28th, 2019, into 2019.
That's right.
About to end it
That's
for
right.
the first month of the year. They don't have the team to make a deep run in the playoffs. Anthony Davis currently has a losing record for his career. I don't blame him wanting to get more. Why shouldn't you want more? You want the whole world in his hands.
Now, how do you feel? And I know this is going to hit a few nerves, but there was one post where somebody wrote that New Orleans really taken a big hit in the last 2 weeks. First by the refs and with the Saints, and now with Anthony Davis coming out in the beginning of their morning, Monday morning, and saying that he's not going to re-sign with the team. The Saints are getting hit from all angles, and they just can't. The Saints, the New Orleans area is getting
Fan
hit.
base, yeah.
Yes, they're getting hit from all angles. I'm just going to say Saints because most likely Saints are Pelican fans.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now. Saints need to get over it, okay?
Yes, they really do.
It's done.
It
really
is.
I said this last Sunday, you know, after the game was over. I said it during my recording. Make sure you check it out on Facebook.com and on YouTube as well, too. I said it on my Wednesday recording that they need to get over it. And I'm saying it again to get over it. Because guess what? Saints fans, I'm going to let you in a little secret. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. I'm just going to tell you a little secret real quickly. The Saints aren't in the Super Bowl.
That's right. That's right. They're out. But
in regards to the whole Pelicans news, I mean, once again, it still comes back to it's never a matter of if, it's only when. Like, he was unhappy there.
Right.
Like, he lost a lot of great weapons.
He did.
To free agency. Like, they did Boogie dirty.
They did.
You know, Rondo left for the bright lights of L.A.
Right.
Because, you know, everyone want to play with LeBron.
Absolutely.
You know, it's great to want to be with a contender, but it's great when that contender is always going to be in second place.
Absolutely.
Whereas with Anthony Davis and the Pelicans, they're always in, what, 8th, 7th place maybe? I mean, they had a heck of a playoff run by sweeping the Trailblazers last year, but I mean, the Trailblazers have issues within themselves.
Right. Now, I mean, and of course, we're going to get to teams that we believe that he might be fitting into, teams that might be able to construct a trade that would be of great benefit to the Pelicans. But, I mean, we talked about this earlier in our season. We knew, like you said, come on, it's going to happen. You have to get the right pieces around them. They tried to go bring in those Kentucky Wildcats, which I said if they would have brought in John Wall, they might have had an opportunity to keep him. It was already one thing to bring in Cousins. Yeah, it was one thing to bring in Cousins, but if you'd have brought in John Wall, you had an opportunity there. But let's dive into some of these ridiculous teams these trades that.
Like, let's just say this right now, and you heard me say this during our text messages after you sent me that. And I'm like, yeah, I read it too, and I was just like, I'm just not going to read this crap. This is garbage, Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report, stop it.
I mean, we're not going to get on that team. We're not going to get on your team first.
Some of these teams are giving up the farm.
I agree, and I think the whole farm.
I honestly feel like there is going to be a team that's going to overpay for Anthony Davis for just a loan. There's no guarantee that he's going to re-sign with them.
Well, not necessarily. Well, number one, he has to. I think it's going to have to be a sign and trade. It might not say that here, but I really do think it's going to have to be a sign and trade. And number one, to make the money work, and number two, to guarantee that you're going to get something. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't trade everybody not knowing the future. Like when the Rockets traded for Chris Paul. Think about it.
I did not hear a single inkling from anyone, including Wojnarowski.
True.
That there is a sign and trade for this trade, a sign and trade for Anthony Davis going to another team. I have yet to hear that anywhere.
It has to be unforeseen. I mean, if a team didn't expect him to sign, like, hey, listen, if we trade for you, we want to sign you immediately. You know what I mean? Like, that's had to be expectation. You think about it, if he goes to the Knicks and plays next year with, let's say he goes to the Knicks, plays with KP. I mean, that's a pretty good tandem. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, the Knicks at that particular point, and we'll get to the Knicks with what they are showing they're going to offer, which when you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. But
it doesn't make any sense.
Let's look at the teams here. The first team that came up was the Chicago Bulls. They are sending Wendell Carter Jr.
Well, potentially sending.
This is all potential.
Say that because we got to say potential. We can't say this because people are going to take that as
this is all Bleacher Report. This is all yes, this is all Bleacher Report. We're looking at Wendell Carter Jr., Chandler Hutchinson, Jabari Parker, a 2019 first-round pick, unprotected, 2020 second-round pick, and then a 2021 first-round pick, top 5 protected. And then the Bulls are going to receive Ian Clark, who must consent to the trade, Anthony Davis, and Tim Frazier. Poor Tim Frazier is on every single trade. And I think Ian Clark is on a majority of the trades. But I will say that Tim Frazier is on every single trade here. Poor Tim Frazier. Actually, with the exception of the Raptors trade, he's not on there. And we'll get to that trade here. Now, yesterday, I read an article that said that trading Jabari Parker was almost impossible. He's out of shape. He's overweight. He's not really playing any defense. So for the Pelicans to take Jabari Parker, even though you're getting Wendell Carter Jr. and, a lot of these other picks and everything, I would probably be like, no, you send me anyone else but Jabari Parker.
I think they would probably buy out Jabari Parker if that's the case.
And that's the idea.
Would probably end up being that is the most likely scenario. They'll probably buy out Jabari Parker so he can be a free agent.
Yeah, because there's no way you're.
So someone can pick him up on waivers. Like, I doubt they're going to keep him on their roster. They're just going to be like, okay, we got you. We're going to buy you out. You're gone. Now go to LA to play with LeBron.
Wow. Speaking of LA, that's a good segue. We're not even going to really touch on that. The Pelicans would trade with the Clippers first here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tobias Harris, Jerome Robinson, Teodosic, a 2019 second-round pick, a 2021 first-round pick, unprotected and contingent upon obligation to Boston. And then, of course, the Clippers will receive Ian Clark, Anthony Davis, Tim Frazier, and Frank Jackson. Now, I don't think that's a good deal at all for the Pelicans.
That's not a good deal, and the Clippers are not going to trade off Tobias. Tobias Harris is a potential all-star this year. Like, he's having a career year. They're not going to do that. They're not that stupid.
Well, and then you got to think about it. They do have Gallinari. They have Lou Williams. They have some other pieces there that, could fit in. Could fit where Anthony Davis wants to go, and I think Tobias Harris is that piece that they could probably afford to let go because they have Gallinari, and then they have some other young players on the bench.
Tobias Harris is also going to free agency this summer.
It's a good it's a good way. Listen, they may not re-sign him at all.
I'm trying to understand how does that make sense? Like, you have someone who's playing like a potential all-star who, honestly is on the outside looking in when it comes to being a reserve.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still on the cheap side.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have to sit there that doesn't make any sense.
I don't like the deal for the Pelicans. I don't think that they get anything remotely close. I like Tobias Harris, don't get me wrong. I think Gilgeous-Alexander is a great young piece. Of course, you get some picks, but I don't think that's a good deal for the Pelicans, who are going to automatically go into rebuild mode.
Yep. Well, and most of these trades going to put them right back into rebuild mode. Like, that's the thing. Like,
some of them. Let's hold on. Some of them.
Let's continue that.
So, staying in L.A., the Lakers would send Lonzo Ball, KCP, of course, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Zubac, who I really like, and a 2019 Zubac is really good. A 2019 first-round pick for Anthony Davis, Tim Frazier, and Wesley Johnson. Now, number one, I like this deal. I think this gives the Pelicans some real hope. But, really, I don't personally care about Lonzo Ball. I don't know how you feel about him. But I don't really care. I don't really care about him. But I think getting Brandon Ingram, who showed, against the Rockets, of course, that he has the killer instinct to be good. But ultimately, the piece that you really want if you're a Pelicans fan is Kyle Kuzma.
Yep.
That's the guy you want. I mean, KCP can play some defense, but you really want Kuzma. He's the future star of the Lakers right now. He's the future star. And then you get a 2019 first-round pick.
Here's the deal with this deal, with this potential trade idea.
Mm-hmm.
It'll actually hurt the Lakers more.
Absolutely. I agree.
And that's the thing that no one's going to see. They're going to be like, oh, well, LeBron's going to get Anthony Davis, all is right in the world. But then you realize that you got rid of your number 2 scorer.
Right.
You got rid of, your top assist man.
Right.
On the team.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ingram, he's okay. And KCP, nah. But, those two hurt a lot.
Absolutely. And then I also think that,
who's the backup for Rondo?
That's what I was about to go with.
Rondo is gone.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I don't know who else they have in their pipeline for backup point guards. I have no idea.
That's one of those deals where you the Pelicans just ran off like a thief in the night.
Yeah, this is a good deal, and I don't know if you saw.
Meanwhile, Lakers fans, people was laughing at the post I put out there on Twitter today. They're like, oh, Professor John Guy just being funny, but that's how you are. You're like, oh, AD wants to leave New Orleans, and they're like, come to me.
And you're right.
Without realizing that you're going to give up some really good pieces.
Yes.
I also like Zubac too, but guess what? Zubac. He ain't to be there anymore.
That's right. I like Zubac a lot. So let me tell you that I do agree. Who's behind Rondo? Rondo hasn't played the whole season. You might not be able to rely on him. Of course, you're going to have LeBron back. Hopefully, he's 30-something years old. I don't know how many years LeBron plans on playing, but if you're
it's so many games, it's ridiculous.
If you're Anthony Davis. Do you want to go and play in LA?
The backup for Rondo would be Alex Caruso, who is
he's a young player,
first year from College Station, Texas. He played for Texas A&M.
Gotcha. I think he's okay, but I mean, Lonzo can't shoot free throws. He can't really do much, but I don't know. That's gonna be kind of rough. But listen, you know what? The Lakers is just the middle point. We do have a few more teams here. Let's look at the next team. This is one that you, of course, took a particular interest in, the New York Knicks, who would send away Tim Hardaway Jr., Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina, Mitchell Robinson, Zion Williamson or R.J. Barrett, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 first-round pick, top one protected, which, you get Anthony Davis, you're not going to be at the bottom of the barrel. And the Knicks would just get Anthony Davis, Tim Frazier,
So
and
I'm going to say
Johnson.
this right now. This is real talk, ladies and gentlemen. I need for everyone to get closer to the speakers real quick.
Not close to the speakers again.
If James Dolan signed off on this exact deal, I need to make a trip to the tri-state area and go face-to-face with Dolan because he's about to get these hands.
No.
That would be just as bad, if not worse. In fact, it would be worse than the Carmelo Anthony deal.
Now, can I tell you...
if you really think about it, that would be worse than a Carmelo Anthony deal.
Can I tell you why?
I'm okay giving up Ntilikina. I'm okay with giving up Tim Hardaway Jr. because of the salary.
Sure.
But you just got Kevin Knox.
Right.
Come on.
Can I tell you why I would switch this up? Let me tell you why I would switch this up and who I would switch this up for. I probably, in this situation, you definitely want to throw Courtney Lee in there, but, he makes a lot of money, and I think the money doesn't add up because of Tim Hardaway Jr., but I probably wouldn't add Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson on here.
No.
And this is where, when you're a GM, you have to really think about it. I probably would.
Well, obviously the person who posted this isn't really a real GM, though.
Right. But you want to know who somebody I would throw on here to, I guess, make it make sense? I would have probably threw Enes Kanter in here.
I would put Enes Kanter in as well, too.
And do you know why? And the only reason I'm going to put Enes Kanter in here is because when KP comes back, you're going to have three bigs who can all play inside and out. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do here? You know what I mean? You're going to have, Anthony, you're really going to have three guys, who are going to be making close to $20 million each. $20 million each, too. You're going to have Courtney Lee, who's going to have $10 million. You're going to still have, I think, the Trey Burks. You're going to have I'm not even sure. You got Moutier still. You're going to have a few point guards still, because I know you guys are guard heavy. But ultimately, I think they would make this trade because they believe in Trayer. But I don't think you would get rid of Mitchell Robinson. I think you would add Enes Kanter in here.
Get rid of Mitchell Robinson. I still think you should still keep Knox.
Right.
I'm okay with sending out Courtney Lee. I'm okay with delivering out Enes Kanter just because we'll have AD.
Right.
That
would be the move.
And I like Trey Burke, but I would put him in there too if it needs to balance out the salaries. You could do this, but this one right here, plus giving up your 2019 first round draft pick is that's just asinine.
And that's RJ or Zion. I know you're really big on getting
that's
RJ.
That's asinine. Come on, stop it.
Just stop it.
Anyway, Dan Favell, to screw up the Knickerbockers.
Right.
He's going to do it. Stop it. That is dumb.
All right, so let's move on to the next team, which I don't really like this trade at all. I think I don't really like it. I'm just going to put it out there. San Antonio Spurs sending out DeMar DeRozan, Brian Forbes, Lonnie Walker. Right. I don't like it. I can see if they I can see if they
okay, this Dan, you might need to get slapped in the face, bro.
I can see if they traded
because that's just stupid.
I can see if they traded I could see if they put LaMarcus Aldridge on here, or DeJounte Murray, somebody like that. I might put DeJounte Murray and Bertens. They have a power forward that shoots threes. That's pretty good. And then you get 2 first round picks. They're not going to probably be worth anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's way too much.
Yeah.
Like, just the player by themselves, like, let's say, we keep DeMar DeRozan, Forbes, and Lonnie Walker in there. Like,
that's a lot.
Maybe
a second round.
Maybe
pick.
use the first round pick from Toronto. Maybe because they're gonna go pretty far anyway.
Right.
Like, that would be enough. But you're giving away 2 first round draft picks for this upcoming draft. That's stupid.
Right.
That's stupid. Like, this guy's trash.
Absolutely.
Forget this guy. Like, all this. Like, I get it. Every one of us, we want to act like we're GMs. We're trying to find the best deals. But, like, it has to be a deal that makes sense.
Agreed. So this last trade,
don't try to have bias because your teams and stuff. But, like, what makes the most logical sense? Don't just try to match it based off salary. Like, what's going to make the best sense to allow both teams to have some kind of competitive edge towards it?
Absolutely. Now, the Raptors deal, which is last. If it
was a team that was just trying to tank completely, like, beyond just the Knickerbockers, because, and I told you this before, the Knicks, we're losing, but, like, it's not like we're sitting there and
being the Bulls.
Exactly. Like we're not sitting there playing like a couple of Bulls, like Pistons. Like, we're making it competitive every single game.
Absolutely.
We just decide to take our foot off the gas on the fourth quarter.
Makes sense.
Like, we could probably be the 6th seed right now had we truly decided to, play in the last quarter of the game.
Absolutely, I agree. I absolutely agree. And I think ultimately, whatever deal does go through, and I don't think it's going to be any of these, there are still some other teams out there that might make a push. But the last team here, the Raptors, they're giving up Onobi, Siakam, Valanciunas, DeLon Wright, and a 2021 first-round pick.
They're not doing this one.
They're not
doing this one.
I wouldn't do that one either.
The Raptors already have a good squad.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen either. But now, not on this list, of course, are there any teams that you would expect to be, I guess, that might want to throw in their names in the hat? I mean, obviously, there's one big one that nobody. I'm surprised not even this person.
About which I do agree with that one. And, of course, some people are already talking about, well, if the Warriors decide to do it, like, they're not going to do that. Stop it.
Right. I mean, the only person that they would be able to offer up, most likely, I mean, they're not going to trade anybody huge.
They're going to trade Draymond.
Right. Who would be, I mean, I don't even know.
They might add in Iguodala.
That's not good. You're gonna get like 4 first-round picks.
Well, let me look at real quick because I could probably come up with a interesting deal. Hold on.
Nothing including. I mean, they would probably want Klay Thompson, but it still wouldn't work.
It won't work with Klay Thompson. It won't work unless they try to do straight up, but that's not even enough either because KD's salary overtakes his.
Right. And I don't think
these are the things that I think about when it comes to, just how. I mean, they'll add in Quinn Cook. Let's see, I said Draymond, Quinn Cook,
Iguodala,
maybe Looney.
No,
either Looney or Damian Jones, and then they'll add in 2. They'll probably add in a second-round pick and maybe a 2020 first-round pick.
That's no good.
And that will work.
That's no good. I wouldn't accept that, though. I wouldn't accept that. I mean, the only other team that's not listed on this list, which a lot of people are speculating could be there, is the Boston Celtics, which, I've already stated
they have a lot of pieces for that.
Which I've already stated, if Jason Tatum is not on the table,
he's not.
There could be no trade. I know they're talking about Jaylen Brown, all these guys, but if you're not
Jaylen Brown, Scary Terry would be on there too.
I've heard Al Horford. I've heard a lot of people.
Al Horford would be on there too.
But
I completely agree with that.
I want Tatum. If they're not offering Tatum, I probably would take the Lakers deal.
I mean, I completely agree with you. Because the Lakers would be stupid enough to do it because LeBron James dictates everything.
Right.
Because you know what's going to happen if they do that? They're going to fire Luke Walton.
So that's definitely something that we're definitely wound up talking about, Luke Walton, probably on Wednesday's show.
You know what? Boston might put Gordon Hayward on the block.
I could
for that
see
deal.
that. I could see that. Yes, I could see something like that
Jaylen
happening.
Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Terry Rozier would work for that deal.
I think they probably would want Al Horford.
Which, by all means, take him. That would work. That would work. That deal right there, that would work.
Yeah.
Now, New Orleans might have to add one more.
Well, New Orleans is going to still add, those smaller pieces that they like Wesley Johnson and Tim Frazier.
They might have to add all three of those players.
But ultimately, I think.
But that would work though, and Boston would still keep all their draft picks.
No, I see. If I'm the Pelicans, I'm squeezing Boston for everything that they're worth. I'm taking draft picks. I'm taking the works. Because you think about it, the Lakers are giving up draft picks. I mean,
because the Lakers are stupid.
Hey, listen, you got to play it all the way through. I mean,
and I get that, but I'm right about this.
I know.
Like, the Lakers are gonna give up everything. The Lakers are gonna literally cavalier themselves.
They got LeBron for 4 years. That's what they're thinking.
Okay, did you have a chance to watch the article the video I put out there on the group about the LeBron James effect on teams?
Absolutely. I think that's not the first time that you've put that effect out there. But I mean, ultimately, we know that Luke Walton's on the hot seat. We know LeBron's not listening to him and all that other good stuff. But ultimately, it's one of those situations where we come to expect it, and we know that you have to win. I mean,
yep.
You have to. So here's my other thing here. I know there was one team that somebody brought up, and I knew I would mention it. Just to mention it. The Miami Heat. I know they were aggressively trying to trade for Jimmy Butler during that particular sweepstakes.
I wouldn't blame them.
I highly doubt that. I don't know if they would want to keep Whiteside or add Whiteside to this deal, but I know that they were pretty aggressive in trying to get that star. What do you think about him joining the Heat? I know he wants to go to a winner, so that kind of rules out a lot of teams.
The Heat's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know who they can give up.
Right.
That will actually benefit them to becoming a title contender. I don't think they can do that. Like, and that's not nothing against against Raleigh out there, but
right.
Like, I don't see anything there to give them a competitive edge. So FYI, I decided to check to see what draft picks the Boston Celtics will have.
Mm-hmm.
So they have 3 first-round draft picks coming up.
Right.
They have a first-round draft pick from the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
They have a first-round draft pick from Memphis, and they have a first-round draft pick from either Philadelphia or Sacramento. So they'll get the most favorable of Philadelphia's 2019 first-round picks protected for the first for selection 1, and Sacramento's 2019 first-round pick via Philadelphia protection for selection 1, and Philadelphia will receive the less favorable one. So they have 3 first-round draft picks coming up.
So looking at the standings, you have 1 through 8 in the East. You have the Bucks, the Raptors, the Pacers, the 76ers, Celtics, the Nets, the Heat, and the Hornets. I mean, obviously, I've already made my claim that I would love to see him go play with Milwaukee and join Giannis. I think that would be...
When you explain that deal to me, I like it.
I mean, it would...
And that would make the Bucks, who people are still not talking about,
right,
much more dangerous.
I would love that. Or even if, I mean, I highly doubt it, but if he was to go to a team like the Denver Nuggets, who are pretty hot right now. Honestly, if I was him, I would do my best to stay or go into the East, because the East is wide open. I mean,
yep.
But you're either going to have to go to a team like the Pacers or the Bucks, or you go to the Celtics. You join a hot Nets team. You know what I mean? Somewhere where you can claim your particular position and move on.
Yes.
You can go play with Kemba in Charlotte if you really, really wanted to. I mean, they're winning, but they're not like super winning. But you could do that. But the last team I would throw out, and it would be uncharacteristic of me if I didn't at least throw this out, of course, if the Rockets put their 4 first-round picks in again with Marquise Chris, with another player or two, and we made our push to get Jimmy Butler. I mean, talking about 4 first-round picks over the next, I think it was six or 8 years or something ridiculous like that.
You have all your draft picks until 2025.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. We were giving up those first-round picks, and I think we were moving. I know it was definitely Marquise Chris, and I think we might have had Brandon Knight in there. But of course, we have some other young players that we can probably throw in there. I mean, if we're getting Anthony Davis, there's a high chance that you may wind up throwing, I don't know, maybe an Eric Gordon, I guess. Maybe, even though I like Eric Gordon a lot. Or, you're throwing in,
I mean, his salary is $13.5 this year, $14 million next year. I mean, that's cap space.
And then you get Brandon Knight, who also has, the cap to match, his current salary. So, I mean, if we're going to throw out deals, I mean, that could be one. But ultimately, it's going to come down to, again, where he sees himself winning. Obviously, you're going to have Chris Paul and James Harden, with whoever we're able to keep. Clint Capella, when he comes back, I think that's ultimately a pretty solid squad. But ultimately, if not just Anthony Davis, but if I'm the Pelicans, I'm taking either the Lakers deal, a great Celtics deal, or I'm looking at some of these teams that, of course, they didn't notice here, that the opportunity to get an R.J. Barrett or a Zion Williamson is pretty appealing. So I don't know. I mean, but I also would want Enes Kanter again in that deal instead of a young center. I would want a proven center.
I agree with you. I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to come back down to what makes the most sense. Like, what is it that they're trying to accomplish?
Right. Are they trying to compete today, or are they building for the future? If they're building for the future, hey, you might say, let's get as many first-round picks as we possibly can. I mean, and in that situation, I probably wouldn't take the Rockets deal even if they offered 4 first-round picks because, if Anthony Davis goes there to play with Chris Paul and James Harden with Clint Capella, and some of these other guys, that could get them over the hump. Anthony Davis pushed the Warriors to the brink of elimination. The Rockets pushed the Warriors on the brink of elimination. So together, theoretically, it would work. If he goes to the East, if he goes anywhere in the East, LeBron's no longer in the East. So that means you have to get past either the Bucks, the Raptors, the 76ers, which, I mean, again, theoretically, the 76ers could put together a package including, Markelle Fultz. I know that they wanted to trade a few other people but previously. They could put together a package revolving around him, which I don't think he's that good. He hasn't played at all, so we have no idea. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear, more rumors as it comes along, and as it does, the doc and I will offer our opinions on it, let you know if it sounds like a good deal or not, because, like, that article right there, that was, like, it started off pretty interesting, like,
right.
Okay, I could kind of see that happening, and then just went to, no, I think you just thugging, bro. Stop it.
And, I mean, we're talking about 10, 11 days left before the trading,
like,
so...
Just day one of the Anthony Davis sweepstake. Like,
right.
We all need to just calm down. Like a certain big dog said, take a sip of your beer. Like, it's a long time until the deadline, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. But other than that, I mean, this is definitely a quick take on Anthony Davis. It looks like we're coming up on about 36 minutes, so we definitely don't want this to be too long. But we want to definitely know what team and what package you enjoy most. If there are any teams that you would want to see Anthony Davis go, and if you're a fan favorite of that particular team, I get it. As you can clearly see, I threw my Rockets in.
Yep.
But we want to hear from you. What team do you think Anthony Davis should go to? Let us know in the comments. Let us know. You can even make your own video if you want, and we'll try to play it on next show. But
yes,
this is Dr. Wednesday night recording on Monday. And that guy right there.
Wednesday comes early.
That's right.
Just like how it's October every single day of the year.
That's right. And we're still waiting for the return of October.
And I am the Professor John Gotti. Make sure you catch us offline on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Player FM, Stitcher, and all podcast iOSs. Follow our social media on Facebook. At Debate Amongst Friends, at Twitter, at Debate Amongst Fra. Make sure you catch our Instagram as well, too, at Debate Amongst Friends. Shout-outs to our Periscope crew out there as well. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join our notification squad so you can know about any new videos that we have coming out. And we'll always catch you again later on. Thank you very much. And once again, as we always say, goodbye, mwah, and to all, a good night.
Taste the ocean.